I want to talk about something that I struggle with every day. It's a struggle moment for me. What is your motivation? I've got a list of my motivations and what motivates me. So I did a podcast. Me and Steadfast did a podcast a few years ago talking about motivation versus inspiration. So, like when you get inspired by something, that's like a light to the flame or a switch that gets flipped on. But the motivation is like the fire or the electricity, something that keeps it going. The inspiration is the instant, is one thing. So if you see a video or you hear a speech or you see something as you're riding down the road or you get a thought, that's inspiration. That's that aha moment. Like, ooh, this is why I want to do this. I got inspired through the podcast because God implanted something in my mind saying, hey, why don't guys have, a space to talk about stuff besides sports? And, all we have is ESPN and ESPN and what else? We talk about cars, girls, not me, but maybe the past me back in the day. What was I going with that? It's about your inspiration to your motivation. The podcast, I was inspired to create a safe space to talk about men. Men to talk about, things that concern them or their struggles because of the stigma surrounding mental health and talking about emotions and such. But my motivation was to see men be delivered from hurts, or men to sit down and talk about things that they didn't normally talk about, or talk about something they ain't never talked about before. That's the motivation behind it. So what are you doing and why are you doing it? What is your motivation? I spoke at a school one time, and there was I asked, what do you want to do? Basically like the what do you want to be when you grow up question that you get asked since you're in kindergarten. Like, what do you want to do? And his kid knew exactly what he wanted to do. And he was like, yeah, petroleum engineer. I was like, wow, that's deep. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, so I can go, go to a third world country and take their resources and make money off of it. And I'm like, what? And I just thought to myself, I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, what? I looked around like, okay, I let him finish talking. And this is like he said it before. This is his motivation, behind being a petroleum engineer. And I'm like, let him finish. And I repeated it to him. And I said, so you want to go to other people's countries, take their stuff and make money off of it? And he was like, well, yeah. I was like, you realize how that sounds, right? That sounds terrible and selfish. Now, you can go do what you do. You can go be a petroleum engineer in a third world country and make plenty of money, but change the motivation behind it. Change your thinking. Change why are you doing that? Because I promise you, yeah, you can get a lot of money, but it's not gonna last, because those things that are not of good and pure intentions are not gonna last. But as long as you got the pure intentions, you want to go help people, or you make a lot of money in the meantime, that's great. Because I'm a firm believer in, if you're following your purpose and doing what you're supposed to do, then you'll be rewarded. But what are you motivated by? What's your motivation for doing what you're doing? Is it something selfish? Is it something, materialistic? Or is it something to help others? Or something selfless? Something higher than you? A higher power? Or something bigger than you? Just think about it. What's your motivation?